Good, everyone. How y'all doing today? If y'all been watching my other videos, y'all already know who the hell I am. I'm Mark. If y'all watch the podcast, girl, I ain't playing with you. If y'all watch the podcast episodes, y'all know who the hell I am. All right. Today's episode, not episode. Wow, so used to saying that when I'm hanging out with Adam. Today's video itself is just going to be a quick review on my Smith & Wesson SD9VE. You see in here, I got 15 rounds of the SIG V Crown Hollows. Chamber is cleared. I don't know if you can see me through that, but I absolutely love this thing. Now, here's what I will tell you guys. All right, I think I may have mentioned this before in some of my other videos. I don't know why. This is it's supposed to hold 16 rounds in the standard magazine. And before y'all ask, yes, I have the stick. I'm not gonna say how many rounds is in it because you know YouTube, but take a look. Y'all can figure it out. But I have 15 in here, all right? For some reason, it won't let me load the last bullet, you know? And it's not like, you know, I just got weak hands or anything. I loaded this entire thing by hand. You know what I mean? I can definitely load this by hand. That's not the issue. So I'm wondering what necessarily that could be. Maybe it was just a defect. Maybe just the spring was too tight. I don't know. I might contact Smith & Wesson, see what's going on with that, see if I can get an answer or even just some replacement mags that actually hold 16. Because, you know, who knows, that extra bullet could save your life. You know what I mean? Now, back to the actual gun itself. Chambered in 9mm. I'm sure you guys could figure out by the name, Smith & Wesson SD9VE. Nice, good look at her. All right. Now, this gun I've heard from multiple people, and I just looked up when it actually got released, so this is what's telling me that's not true. Here, hold on, let me just field strip it real quick. Jeez. Fucking Lord. God damn it. I'm exhausted today, y'all. Sorry. There it is. Sorry. I had to make sure I pulled it far enough back, you know what I mean? I've just had a very long day, not to mention the past few days I've been trying to kick my caffeine addiction, so it's been definitely more tiring than anything else. As you can see, it's the exact same setup essentially as your standard Glock. You got your recoil spring with the guide rod in here. You got your barrel right here, obviously. You got your firing pin right here in the back. Oh, I need to clean this thing too. I haven't cleaned this since I last went shooting. But overall, this is a phenomenal firearm. Have never had any malfunctions with it whatsoever. I've put hundreds of rounds through this gun. Every time has always worked for me. Never failed me. Never had a single issue, not a failure to eject, not a can't think about it for the life of me. Not a failure to load, not a failure to eject, not a double feed. Yeah, I've never had any fucking form of malfunction with this gun. It is a very solid, very, very, very reliable gun. It came out around 2012. All right. Now, if you take a look, all right, and I'll even show y'all for example, because I have my Glock 23 right here. It's clear. So you see with the Glock trigger, as I talked about in the Glock 23 review, it has your standard Glock trigger, you know, it has trigger safety right here, you know, right? However, with the SD9, all right, it does also have a trigger safety. However, it's not like how Glock's is. Here's how, if you see that very small little notch right there, I'm pressing it, right? And that is what the trigger safety is. If something is pulling the trigger up here, it will not go off. It will not go off. You do, however, because it's a hinge trigger, press that back in, different story. You see what I mean? Let me double check the chamber. Sit there and press this down. See what I mean? But this is a phenomenal gun. I will say my favorite thing about this gun, like if we were to compare it to, you know, a Glock 19, right? We can compare it to a Glock 19. It's the closest comparison in my opinion. I still would probably pick this, even if it's, you know, even if it's a Glock that's MOS, I still would probably pick this because of the simple matter of fact that I just love the slide stop lever. I love it. It is nice as hell. It is so fucking smooth. And I have none against Glocks. However, you know what I mean? I will say Smith & Wesson definitely did their job with this one. They killed it. That's probably my favorite aspect of the gun itself. It's a very thin grip gun. You know, it's not a fat grip by any standards. It is a great, great, great firearm. And now some of y'all may be wondering, what did I pay for it? Around $450. You know, a decently budgeted gun. You can use it for home defense. You can use it for carry. It will definitely do the job for both. There's no doubt about that. Now, I want to do a quick little dive into this mag real quick, just so that way, you know, I'm sure y'all know this thing. All right, but y'all may wonder, why do you have FMJs in there? This Smith & Wesson does not make stick mags for this gun. I don't think they make stick mags at all. I could be wrong on that. Please tell me if I'm wrong. But they themselves definitely do not make stick mags for the SD9VE that I have looked up. I have gone through every website just trying to look for it. Just wanted to look for it. Come on, I need a Smith & Wesson factory made one. Come on, come on, come on. OEM something, right? And nope. All that I could find was this Pro Mag stick. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. This is my only option. Let me just give it a try. You know, I loaded it up for about 2 weeks prior. I had it loaded for 2 weeks prior before I even went to the range, just because at the time I was working a different job. I had much more demanding hours. Not a big deal though. It fed, didn't jam, no issue whatsoever. All right, didn't have a failure to eject, didn't have a failure to feed. However, that's with FMJs. I have to stress that to you guys. That is strictly with FMJs. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, oh yeah, well, you know, I believe you said you got hollows in this as well. I do. I have no clue what it is. This is why I say Pro Mag overall is a shitty company, because it's definitely not the SD9VE. All right, that gun is so damn reliable. It's insane, and it's such a smooth shooter too. Like, it is a great shooting gun. I'm sorry, but it is. You know, I don't have a single issue controlling that thing. I don't have an issue controlling any of my guns, really. But for somebody who's just stepping into firearms, or somebody who would be just stepping into the firearms world, this would be a great gun for them to start shooting. All right, because it's not a hard gun to shoot. Very simple, very easy. It's a nice grip. Everything about it is a good gun. But back to what I was saying with this, this magazine will feed about 12 to 15, I believe it was. I'm gonna say 12 just on the low end to be safe. It'll feed the last 12 rounds can be hollows, and it'll feed. How do I know? I've checked. I checked. I bought extra hollows just to check this magazine, threw those hollows away because I felt I kept chambering around too many times to see if it worked. All right, and then around the 13th, I believe it was, it would nosedive, and every hollow after that would nosedive after the 13th round. So the rest I just put with FMJs. Do I plan on using this particular magazine for a home defense situation? No. I would rather use the standard magazine just to be safe. And then even if I feel like I need more ammunition, I could have an extra one on me. I have 2 mags. When you buy it, it comes with 2 mags. Excuse me one second, y'all. Now, of course, comes with a little Picatinny rail, so you can sit there and attach a light to it if you like. You know what I mean? Much better for home defense in that situation. Light's not going nowhere, obviously. Take that off. Jesus, I don't know if y'all can hear that, but my neighbors, I guess, are being active today. But back to the SD9VE. A lot of people don't know this, and if you didn't know this, you can look it up. Smith & Wesson SD9VE. It's an acronym. The SD is self-defense. 9, of course, you can imagine, indicates it's a 9mm. The VE is value enhanced. All right. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the VE is actually the 2nd generation of Smith & Wesson's, like SD9. And I could be mistaken on that, but I am pretty sure, because I know for a fact the slide and another type of SD9 they have are made with different materials. I will say though, if I had to put this gun on a scale of 1 to 10, and keep in mind you got your standard 3-dot sights on here, you know what I mean? Your standard 3 dots, right? Overall, a fairly accurate gun. You got your finger grooves on here. Slide stop lever, as I said, is phenomenally smooth. It's just buttery as hell. It's a lot longer than the other ones, like for example the Glock or the G2C, as you can see. So it's pretty smooth to handle. The grip, as I mentioned before, isn't any way thick. It's a very thin grip. Some people may not like the trigger, but I will say it's probably a minute thing. Out of everything on the gun, if you just don't like the trigger necessarily, or not even that you don't like it, you're just not used to it, because maybe you shoot almost exclusively Glocks. You know what I mean? Who knows? I wouldn't let that discourage you from buying this gun. What I will say is that if you don't own this gun, you are missing out. I will openly tell you that without a doubt in my mind. You were missing out if you do not own this gun. This is probably, out of every gun I got currently, if I had to choose a pistol for a shades of fan situation, it's going to be this one. It's probably not going to be my Glock 23. It's not going to be the G2C. I might have the LCP as like a backup gun, but it's definitely not going to be, my first pistol. So this overall is a phenomenal firearm. I cannot stress that enough. All right. Now, a couple of people have asked me when I've talked to them about this gun in person, when they're like, okay, well, it's .450, what ammunition do you recommend I run through it? Any solidly known brand that is known for supplying good ammunition will work through here perfectly. There are of course smaller brands that sometimes they just make some dud ammunition. It happens, everywhere. That has nothing to do with the gun though. But what I will tell you is something else I found out. Something else I found out about this gun fairly recently. All right, most guns, for example, Glocks, my Taurus G2C, you can shoot +P+ rounds out of them. And those are some spicy rounds. However, you cannot do that with this gun, or at least Smith & Wesson highly recommends you don't. Would I put +P+ through here? No. I would put +P's through here though, for sure. You know what I mean? It doesn't say anything about +P's, it just says +P+. But the simple matter of fact is that this gun will run like a beast. It will run just the same as a fucking Glock. It is just as reliable. If I had to choose, like, let's say there's a table, right? Table of 5 different guns, 4 of them are Glocks. The only one left is the SD9, right? Excuse me, got a mosquito bite on my forehead earlier. Welcome to Florida though, right? But so if I had to choose, right? And I was only left with the SD9 because other people got to the Glocks first, I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't feel any type of way. I would still grab this as if it was a Glock and just be like, cool, we're ready to go. You know what I mean? It is a phenomenal firearm. Fairly easy to maintain, fairly easy to clean, amazingly easy to use, phenomenally easy to shoot in my opinion. Some people may disagree, but you know what? We already talked about those on the Gun Grapes episode of Senate Fire Podcast. Those are what you call recoil princesses. Other than that, if you guys have any questions about this gun at all, anything that I didn't mention, please, by all means, let me know. You know what? Actually, there's one thing I will add that I don't like about this gun. All right. And once again, not a huge deal breaker because that's how it is with most guns. I just don't like how the, the slide lock levers right here are they're so small. You know what I mean? But that's just how it is with most guns anyways. It's not a huge deal. Not a deal breaker by any standard for me, at least. But if you, as I was saying before, if y'all have any questions about this gun, y'all have any comments on what y'all think the next video I should be, or what y'all think I should do, or hell, if y'all have any questions about the next podcast episode that we might be willing to answer, I might talk with my boy Adam, we can figure something out. Other than that, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, tell everyone share the video to even the people in your family who hates guns. Do it just to irritate them. Be like, hey, I thought you might like this. Send it to them. All right. Y'all stay safe. Y'all have a great day. Peace.